Any New Year resolutions you guys have? Get slow, that's your goal, alright?
Oh, yeah, they're right here.
Yeah.
I understood it.
I don't know.
Everybody understood. So just to get slow, anybody else? Anybody have any New Year's resolution?
So, live my best life, go to more concerts.
Yeah,
get
so
turned
live
up.
life more.
Bro, Coachella, bro.
I wanna go!
No.
Any New Year's resolution? Figure out what you want for your 15?
Yeah. Busy? Nothing. Nothing, huh?
Emily?
Get off those water headphones.
Well, don't feel bad because you know what? To be honest, this year is the first year that I really don't have anything. No, I don't have a New Year's resolution. I don't have nothing.
You're just gonna live the year as it goes.
I'm just gonna live the year as I go day by day. Go with the flow. What game time it is? What time do you think it is? It's game time. What do you think of when you hear game time? Real quick,
It's
game
time to
time.
play.
Showtime.
Showtime. What's about to get real? What else? Let's time show out.
I think this is a game.
Think this is a game. What else?
I think it's a game, bro.
Let's get our head in the game. Let's go. Let's win. So today's lesson, today's topic is called game time. So I want y'all to turn to Matthew 28, 16, 20. And it's a new year. We're starting off. We had a good long break. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. I think it's our time for us to get in the game. So Matthew 28, verse 16 and 20. It says, Then the 11 disciples left for Galilee, going to the mount where Jesus had told them to go. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some of them doubted. Jesus came and told his disciples, I have been given all authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Teach these new disciples to obey all commands I have given you, and be sure of this, I am with you always and even to the end of the age. I want to talk about this, you know what I'm saying? Because I think this relates to, when you hear game time. We said it's ready to go. Let's say, it's time to focus.
Okay.
Get ready. It's time to go to work. And here Jesus says, he has told the disciples, have given you authority in heaven and on earth. Therefore, go and make disciples of our nation. God's calling us so we can go and find people. Get them to the church. We're a team, right? We're a team. Okay? As long as for us as a team to get better, what we got to do? We got to practice, right? Right? Practice make perfect. So I think it's time for us, if we haven't been picking up our Bibles, we haven't been praying, I think it's time for us to pick up that Bible. I think it's time for us to start praying. If we haven't been searching for people to save souls, to bring them to the Lord, because this is what God is telling us. He had told his people, he told his disciples, this is us, we're the disciples. It says, go, make disciples of all the nations. All right? All the nations. It's time for us to get in the game. It's time for us to go out there and save souls. Things are happening in the world right now. But we can save these souls. For us to go out there and not be afraid if somebody's going through something. Not be afraid if you have a friend, just speak to them about God. It says, therefore go and make disciples of all nations. Doesn't matter where it is that you're at. Doesn't matter what it is that you're going through. If somebody's going through something, speak to them about Jesus. Don't be afraid to go and say, hey, you know what? You need prayer. I know we feel a little ashamed, or maybe we're a little shy about it. I think that's the past. I think this year we need to approach and get rid of that shyness. We need to get rid of being able to have doubt, be timid. If we were having fun, and when we have fun, we're not shy about it. If we got something to say, we're not afraid to say it. I think everybody here has that y'all not afraid to tell it like it is. Y'all not afraid to say, you know what, I'm going to talk to him, right? Or like, why are you wearing that? Or you know what, it's time for you guys to use that. You guys are a team. I think it's time for, it's time for us to get our head in the game. What you offer as a team, when the team is gets united or put together, every member of that team has something to offer, correct? Doesn't matter. That every team has those that offer something different. This here is a team. We are a team. When he says, this is perfect what he's saying. It's time to get our head in the game. It's game time. He says it's time for us out there to gather souls, win souls over to him. Because as God, when he died, when he gave his life for us, What's the first thing God did go do? What did he say he was leaving here to do? God said, I am leaving here to go prepare a home for you. God's already going to work. But he left us with a task. Right? Our job, if we don't know what our job is to win souls. To gather people, make disciples. It says to do baptisms. Who's here ever baptized somebody? No one, right? No one has? No? Would you ever want to? Yeah? Think it would be pretty cool, right? Submerge them in the water real quick. Say, every one of you have that here. God has already given us a task. He's already told us what we need to do. God already said, go out there. He says, teach these new disciples to obey all the commands I have given you. In order for us to teach somebody something, we have to walk by example, correct?
And I think a lot of times we always think, but I have to change, or I can't be myself anymore if I walk out and do what God's called me to do, or do what this is saying, I can't be myself. But that's how God created you. Why would he want to change you? The way you are, you don't have to change. You don't have to, and like Camilo said, everybody has their position, everybody has their role. The way you are, you could talk to people that maybe Daisy can't, or that I can't. The same thing with Abraham, like you can talk to, if somebody's a musician, y'all have something in common, or whatever it is that nobody else could. So there's no reason to change who you are. Just use how God has made you.
Because God's already given us the power. He's already given us all the authority we need. And yes, we will doubt. I mean, Jesus says it here. He said, even his own disciples doubted. We're going to have doubt sometimes. We're going to be thinking like, you know what? Are we even doing anything? Am I even helping this guy? I feel like I'm making the worst. We have those doubts. You don't think I have doubts sometimes because maybe I don't see them all here doing something for God? I would probably doubt you, because then you will feel like, you know what? Hey, what are you doing, or what am I putting in them that's just going to help them? Right? Because you want to draw them to God. You want them to stay here with God. You want them to be here at church and receive. But yet those people have not given up yet. Because if that was the case, if I was to let that overrun me, then why do we have this class here today? Knowing that I've either failed or I'm taking it as a failure. But no, it's not. Because why? I already told you, we're in a team that's already already in the playoffs. That's guaranteed that we're already going to win this Super Bowl. That's guaranteed. We're not even going to get rings. You know what we're going to get? Something better than that. We're going to get crowns. How about that? What's up? What's up?
Oh, Gucci.
What's up? Yes.
The Gucci.
Yep. Yes. So that's better than carrying a ring. You're going to have that. You all have that. Every single one of you have that. But see, the game isn't over, though. Here's the thing. This is why it's game time, because the game isn't over. Because God has left already to go prep. He's already going to work. But he left us already to go to work here. Because unlike any team, in order for you to already go to the playoffs, in order for you to already win Super Bowls or championships, put it like that, anything that wins championships, you have to play against other people, right? You have to win games in order to make it to the end. Well, see, our game isn't done yet. We still have to play. We still have to keep our head in this game, because the game isn't over. This championship hasn't came yet. The Super Bowl isn't here yet. The finals isn't here yet. So we have to still play this game. We still have to keep our head in the game. And yes, what happens to players throughout the seasons? They get hurt. Yeah, right? They get hurt, and then what they do? They recover. They gain strength back, and they get their head back in the game, right? Because they want to win. We happen to get injured throughout the season. We get to have defaults throughout the season. Let's say we go through things. But then we got to get our head back in the game. Every team will tell you, any player on their team will say, you know what, hey, I'm with a winning team. Every team says, you know what, now my team is better than your team. It's the same thing with us. Why are we afraid to go tell everybody else that, hey, you know what, Jesus is on my team? Why is it that we should be having doubt? Why should we have fear to say that, you know, our team is better than your team? Nah. I do not see any squad that's better than ours. I don't need thousands in this class. This is what I need right here. Yes, it would be nice to have the whole backside filled up with number of kids back then. But you know what? I'm gonna work with the team I got. Because guess what? My team's a winning team too. Only had 12 disciples, right? 12 disciples is what he had. Ended up with 11. So he prepped 11 disciples. And those 11, look at what they have conquered. Those 11, look at what they have done. It doesn't say Jesus talked to like 100,000 or 100 million and say, hey, you know what? Y'all go out there and speak my word. There's victory already in our court. You know what I'm saying? We already got the all-star players. You know what I'm saying? We got every single one of you as the all-star player. You know, you were all chosen specially to be on this team. It's a privilege. It's an honor. You know, to be able to serve, to be able to do His work. You know what I'm talking about? What are some of the victories? What are some of the gains we're gonna get off of this? Eternal life. You should be fired up. You should be already fired up. You know what I'm saying? You should be ready. Let's go. You know what I'm talking about? You should be ready to go out there and, you know what I'm saying, and conquer. Play the game. Go out there. Show out. Show off. Show off. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid because somebody's gonna be like, oh, that girl weird. Or man, all of a sudden he friendly. No. Ain't got nothing to do with that. It's just like because you don't know, because you're not on a winning team. You know why you're so sour? Because you're on a losing team. Because when you're on a winning team, guess what? You're happy. When you're excited, you're happy. When you know that there's already victory, you should be happy. You've already won. But we still have to play though. We still have to play. We still have to keep our head in the game. You know, you're in a group that offers, you know, you need one another as well because the team doesn't function just one person, right? Yes, everyone's unique in their own way. Yes, everyone holds something special in the team, but you have to work together. Well, what makes a great team? When there's communication with one another. Because it's not a one-man team. What do they always say? There ain't no I in team, right? Now, we don't know where God's going to lead. But I think it's time. I think this is a perfect year for us to get our head in the game. And I think it's time for us to, you know, not lose that fire. It's 2020. It's a new year. It should be better because that's the past. You know how we come back fired up from camp? That should be how we should be fired up right now. And not be afraid, not be timid. Because this is what's the greatest thing about it is that to be sure that we're not alone is that He is always going to be with us. Even to the end of the age. To the end of the age. To the end of the last play. To the game is over. He's always going to be with us. Don't ever feel like you're alone. Maybe your partner's not backing you up. Well, you're not alone because you have God. So who wants to be on a winning team? I ask you today. Who wants to be on a winning team? Because I do. I want to be on a winning team. I think this is a year that I want to say, you know what, hey, I'm going to do something bigger and better. It's not a New Year's resolution. I asked you what your New Year's resolution was this morning. This is not a New Year's resolution because I feel like this shouldn't have to be. It's not something that we got to plan because it's already been planned. It's not something that we need to do, you know, to win because we've already won. I want to be on a winning team. You want to be on a winning team? Let's play. It's game time.